Hey Rebels, it's your host Charlie on the Salon Rebel podcast. I am super excited to have Sharlene Lee from Circles of Hair with us again for this episode. We had her back about a year prior, and she had told us all about how she started her salon and what she was up to at the time. Fast forward to about a year, and she is being trolled hardcore on social media, is making waves as usual in her disruptive nature. I just love how resilient Sharlene is, and she's an absolute inspiration in our industry. So I am very excited to have you here with us, Sharlene. Please tell me, what have you been up to in the last year? The last time I saw you, I had just partaked in your shadowing program, and it was absolutely epic, and you've just blown up ever since. Tell our listeners how that started and how did you get into that shadowing program, and what is it for salon owners?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for asking me back. Love doing this and love sharing my experience. First of all, I started the shadowing program. It would have been well over 18 months now. We have 190 salons on the waitlist, and we possibly just cannot get through them. It's just been absolutely just gone crazy. And I think it's the first time that a salon has really opened up not only figures, opened up their doors and saying, come in, I want to show you how a successful salon is run. And it's really worked well, but I think there was a lot of trial and error as well, where I think we were just so inundated with salon interest that it did take a little bit of time away from the salon, the running of the salon, because obviously, we gave so much to the salon owners, and then we really had to find, especially over the last 6 months, a really good balance that we could run the salon as normal, but also give 100% to these salon owners that are taking into our shadowing program. So now we only take 2 salon owners a month.
Wow. Okay.
Because it was just way too much. I think we were just booking it in. And then all the team members was like, I never see you, Charlene. I never see you. I don't speak to you. So all the things that I was trying to make other salons do, I really could tell that we were slipping down as well. So it was really important just to find that right balance of the scales. And now, after 18 months, we really know how to navigate that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Even when I was in there, I'd felt that I was getting so much attention. You know what I mean? I was getting so much attention. We were going out for a coffee. We were having a chat.
Yeah.
And while that was amazing, I could see, forward, if you're doing that every single weekend, and somebody has paid a lot of money to be there, so you feel like you've got to do that, but then you've also got team members, and at the end of the day,
and clients, right?
Yes,
you want the clients,
totally.
It's that beautiful experience. It's that salon experience that we still want to give to our clients. And just because we've got a salon owner there, and yes, I was dedicating 110% to them, I just really had to navigate the right way of doing it. Now I know how to do it, and it's like anything. When you start something, you've got those little hiccups, but how do you iron those things out?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And where are you at now? How do you operate that? Do people still come in for 2 days on the Fridays and Saturdays?
Yeah. Fridays or Saturdays or Thursdays or Fridays.
Yeah.
We have now, because there was such a great demand on even just having a couple of hours contact with us, we actually now have we opened up our Club C education.
Yes.
And this is where you can book a Zoom meeting either with myself, Jess, who is my business partner in the Fitzgerald Salon, or Fallon, my coordinator, or Declan, you know how amazing Declan is, or the integration and automation, so they can really book him on Zoom, so they don't have to, pay to get to Perth, then pay for the accommodation. Maybe they can just really take 3 hours of Declan's time and then do it all through Zoom, which is obviously a lot more efficient.
Yes.
But it takes a long time to set this up. And also we put 3 of our main stylists who does very well and starts motivating and educating our team, and that's Emma, Ben and Caitlin. And they go through the consultation process on how we can, utilise our clients in a better way, or just have that right conversation, because everyone thinks that they do the perfect consultation, but because at the moment I'm just started the L'Oreal Roadshow, and there's a lot of salons that don't do a proper consultation. And it's quite scary.
Yeah, they're very hit or miss. I find that you'll have some people that are really great at them, some people that aren't, that are offering half the service, that aren't including retail, that aren't, you've got lazy stylists that are offering, very little part of the service in there. And how did you get them to be so confident at consultation? Like, was there training that you guys developed that you teach all of your team members, or how do you get them to be consistent like that?
Look, I think the 3 that is on our Club C education that you can book them, the 3 guys, they've been with the Circles of Hair group for well over 10 years. So they don't know any better. Mm-hmm. They did their whole apprenticeship with us.
Did all 3 of them
all
do their apprenticeship there? Wow.
Their whole apprenticeship and
cool.
has been there between 10 and 15 years plus.
Yeah.
So they are our brand. They know our brand just like I do.
Yeah.
And so I think they're the ones that definitely help the emerging stylists, the senior stylists, the new stylists to really change the language up. And it's really interesting when we do have salon owners come and they record our consultations. They go, wow, I would never have thought about changing the language up. It's not about selling, it's about recommendation. Mm-hmm. And that's really important.
Mm-hmm. This is a huge thing that we're trying to make a shift myself with people, is that it's not about selling, it's about solving problems, right? So finding a solution for your clients when they come in, what do they actually need to have done? Yeah. And when you can reframe your mind, the mindset on what you're actually doing, and you're just trying to give somebody the best possible experience, the money just flows.
It really is. It's just about, it's not about like, we talk about, adding the treatments and adding the bonders to the hair and talking about retail as part of the consultation before we actually start the service. And there is a lot of salons that don't do it, but it comes from the top and it starts from the salon owners. And if the salon owners aren't doing it, how in the hell is their team going to do it? It's just not going to happen, because it all starts from the top and then filters right down to our apprentices.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And is that something that you learned through just over time? Have you guys always been that strong with your consultations? Was that you as a hairdresser, like from the beginning? Have you always been like that yourself?
Yeah, I think I have. I was always a really good, I'm always a good talker.
Yeah.
But I think, just explaining, because when you explain and, you have things on hand like extensions or whatever, and they are so excited to have it at that moment. Mm-hmm. How are we going to navigate that with a full column and, and having other stylists and seniors and emerging stylists to help that particular senior, so that client doesn't have to go home, wait for a month or whatever it is, that they can just have it in that moment. Yeah. And I suppose that's what we really sort of focus on as well. Yeah. So our day changes so quickly. I would be really worried as a salon owner if you are a booked out senior and you're just doing what is booked in, because that tells me you're not having those right conversations with that client. So you can't just tell me everyone's just booked in just for a route lift or route application and they're just going to have it done. There's always things that change. They could have gone to Bali. They probably needed an extra, toner or whatever it is. But there's always has to have some extra services on top of what they've booked in for.
I loved that when we had come in, and I think it was Fallon that said to us, like, the schedule just doesn't ever look the same. And nobody, to get used to it, like, don't even bother looking at it almost.
I know. Yeah.
Right? And it was really good because I think as a salon owner, we get so worried about pleasing our staff and making sure that they always feel, comfortable. They're scared of the change. A little bit of pressure is too much. They freak out because things are a little bit stressful for, a time. And we operate as a heavily booked out salon with back-to-back clients. Things change all the time. I'm the queen of selling. I can sell a bald man ahead of extensions. Like, if I think it's going to make his day.
Yeah.
Not that we do men, but it's like, it gets really exciting when you're able to do that for clients. And I love how you guys do that and how you really embody that and your team embody that. But I do find that it's really hard sometimes when you have some team members that are influenced by social media, that are looking at these salons that are offering one-on-one appointments, and everyone's kind of wanting to, get more. Everyone's wanting a more relaxed environment, it seems, in a salon, and you're absolutely not offering that. And I love that. I love that because it does sort of put a weight on our shoulders of what we need to be doing as owners to keep team happy. And there's like that balance of like, you want to create a good environment, but I also can't afford to be doing one-on-one appointments and also the reality of it's just not affordable in salons like ours.
That's right.
How do you do you ever have issues with that with team members who come on board that are finds it too stressful to be working like that under the pump?
100%. Then Circles is not for them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just simple as that, because at the end of the day, that's how we work, and it is a very busy salon. Obviously, busy on your Thursday, Friday and Saturdays. During the week when clients want like definitely more relaxation, they come in Monday, Tuesday and Wednesdays. But, at the end of the day, us as salon owners, we look at our KPIs and our targets on a daily, weekly basis. And I expect that our team members do exactly the same, because these days the expectations of a senior stylist on what they want to get paid, well, that's all good and well, but are we going to work out their numbers and really explain to them this is how much you need to bring in? Because when they're doing a one-on-one and they're doing, their basin work themselves and then they're shampooing, how, they want to get that, X amount of dollars per year, but the numbers aren't there. So they know themselves that, we have to run a full column, but they wouldn't ever make that amount of money without good people at the front desk. Your really strong coordinators, your, you've got your emerging stylists that are always there to help. You've got your apprentices. We have 11 apprentices in the Subiaco salon, and I think we have around about 6 or 7 in the Fitzgerald salon. But they're there to support our senior stylists so they can hit their targets and their goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they can bring more money home. We all want money.
Yes.
That's why we're in business.
Yes.
And if we can show these guys, especially our team members, that you don't have to go out on your own and you can earn excellent money within your brand why in the hell would they go and work for someone else?
Yeah.
Or work for themselves? Because, they sometimes forget, by the time they go and pick up stock, and then they have to post, then they have to post their Instagram reel, then they have to pay their stock, it's their super insurance.
Everything.
I mean, it goes on and on and on, and they know that, they can earn good money.
Yeah.
But it's just giving these guys support and knowing how we're going to manage that a lot better.
Yeah. I always think if I was working for myself before I went out on my own, I probably wouldn't have gone out on my own.
Yeah.
In the terms of how much money that we're able to pay our high performers. There's no reason to do it on your own when you get to work for a place where you feel supported by a team, you're making good money, you get to just go home at the end of the day. And the salon owners are doing, we're not just going home at the end of the day. It never ends for us.
Well, it's a 24-hour job. It's like any business, but especially I find with our industry, it is emotional because we get so emotionally attached with our team. If something's wrong or something personal that's happening, it's just like we are the mum. We always worried. We take it to the next step, which sometimes we maybe need to not do that.
Yeah. I think that is definitely, has that become easier over the years? Like I remember reading Lisa Conway's book, The Salon Team, like years ago, and she talked about like not having your team members sleep on your couch. And I was like, oh shit, I do that all the time, right? Like this was probably 10 years ago or so when her book came out. And I felt really I was like, oh, I do that. And I do run I'm really close with my team. And then over the years, people leave and things happen and you get sad and it feels hurtful, even though it's still just business. And you think, I hope this stops one day. I hope I don't feel so affected when people do move on. It's like, sometimes people are there for like 8 or 9 years and then they move on and you're like, you should just really be happy that you had them for that long.
I know, but it is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's just how we are, I think, as creatives.
Yeah.
We just get so emotionally attached and,
Does it get easier?
I don't think
when
so.
people resign? No.
It depends on the person, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does depend on the person.
Sometimes you're having a party.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I find that they're on their way. When you think they're due.
Yes.
They're due to leave.
Yeah.
Because they, like you said, they become lazy, they're not motivated. There's everything you do as a salon owner and what you offer, it still doesn't make a difference. And sometimes they're just not in it for the right reason, and that's when it's time to say goodbye, and that's perfect. But when you lose a fantastic senior stylist that you are close to, that's when it sort of cuts a bit deep.
Yes. And I find you usually know before they do when they're leaving.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll see the signs well before they even realize that they're leaving. And then by the time that happens, you're like, I'm not surprised. And they've only just recently made the decision. But I think you can just see the motivation changing or their lifestyle has changed or they've moved and you can see that it's just getting too hard for them. And sometimes I think people stay a little bit past their expiry, and you're like, and I think it must be just really hard as a stylist too, that you've been there for a long time. This is your family. You need to, they feel that. And then they want to move.
I've had stylists, Ruth's been with me for, my God, like 26 years, 27 years.
That's
she's
wild.
Just amazing. And, she's like such a big part of our family and, she only works 2 days a week, but, it's just perfect. It was her first job ever and she's still in her first job.
That's wild. Wow.
Oh, I love saying that
cool,
story.
Though.
It's a beautiful story. Yeah. And that's very unusual for our industry.
Yeah, totally.
Very unusual.
You've got a lot of long-term team members, which says a lot.
Yeah.
Tell me about what's happening with TikTok and your friends on there, also known as the trolls.
Right.
You are getting slogged quite a bit, which is what happens. Charlene's basically taken TikTok and turned it into the Circles reality TV show, which has been really cool to see you
Yeah.
do something so different like that. And I think the coolest thing is just seeing how transparent you are
Yeah.
around your numbers. And I think that's been a really big inspiration for salon owners, because most salon owners are really afraid of talking about numbers and figures with their teams in any capacity. And to do it at that level and put
I
yourself
know.
out there
I know.
is wild.
Yeah.
And personally, like, I don't post on TikTok hardly ever because I'm afraid of the thing.
Yeah.
Like, it is, I can't imagine, has things happened with your team and that
Yeah.
has been difficult with that massive growth that you've had?
Not about the growth that I've had, but I think, since I've been putting out the pricing,
Yes.
it's the, you have to think about TikTok. It's not Australia-wide, it's worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they forget that it's Australian dollars. We're not talking
Mm-hmm.
pounds. We're not talking about euros. We're talking about dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I get trashed a lot. Like, I can't believe that you would charge someone $1,000 for this. Now, it's caught a hook, darling. I mean,
Yes.
do you know what I mean? Like, you're trying to do a 3-hour, 4-hour service that you've pre-quoted. You've pre-quoted the treatments, you pre-quoted the service, you pre-quoted all the retail, and then I give the total price.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when people think, oh my God, they don't listen to the video to the right at the end to say, right, oh, it must be all these extras. It's not
Yeah.
just for a colour, it's not just for a colour, or it's
Yes.
not just for a head of hair. They had a head of hair, new, head of wefts, plus colour, plus colouring the wefts, plus take-home products. There's so many things that go into it. But, yeah, I mean, I like talking about price, but, yeah, I think every time I talk about price, it has escalated my videos, and
Do you get
there is
nervous
a lot.
when you hit like
No, I
when you
don't.
hit
I don't
publish?
get nervous because it's the truth. And,
Yeah.
I tell the client, are you okay if I talk about price? I mean, that's what they pay for. And
Yeah.
once we break it all down, and I've done a few videos breaking the price down, but you know what the funny thing is? I have so many stylists that go, you're not expensive. I'm charging $210 for a haircut. You're charging $180.
Yeah.
I don't see the big thing about it. But like you just said, Charlie, people aren't transparent with their prices. They're scared to put it online because at the end of the day, are those people that really trash me about prices, are they really our demographics that are going to come into our door? I don't think so.
No.
But it is a lot of hate because people go like, oh, Circles must be the most expensive salon, because they're just seeing that short snippet of a video.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a shame, because I would love to be a lot more transparent and raw on my videos. And, sometimes I was like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't put the price on this video
Mm-hmm.
because of the backlash that you're getting, which is such a shame because our industry needs it.
Yes.
But then the consumer maybe have mixed messages. I'm not sure, but I did it for our industry. I did it for us to elevate our industry and say, hey, we should be proud of all of us to get together and say we are proud of our prices.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we know, there is, I just did my roadshow, so I know that only 7% of salons make money. 73%.
Only 7% of salons make money.
73% break even. And it's like, and people, there's a lot of salons that just lose money. And then that's why there's so many salons that close down, because they don't know their numbers. And, they think that it's okay that you can charge $40 or $50 for a haircut. Now, we already know that we can't sustain that in our industry, not with the cost of wages and all
No.
the stock costs and hidden costs that we do as salon owners, we just cannot survive charging that
No.
if you're a high-profile salon.
No.
Do you know?
Yeah, absolutely not. Even when we do that pricing program for salons, and there's so many people that will do the program and realize that they're not profiting on certain services at all. And they think that these services are their best services. And you go and do like a pricing audit and they're like, shit, I don't have like any money in this
I'm only making $10 out of it.
Yes, I'm making $10 an hour.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it feels, this is the thing is people go out on their own and they feel like they're making all this money because they've got money going into the bank, but then they're just pissing it out on all the expenses
Well, look
and there's
at our
nothing
tax
left.
rates.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, totally. I mean, my first couple years in business, I always tell people this, I was making $45,000 a year. And that was me absolutely hustling, you know, and even working from home, having a home salon, having hardly any overheads. And that's all I was left with that. So it's really, it's wild to me that you can go and have a filler done and spend, you know, I'll drop $800 in 15 minutes.
Oh, a couple of thousand.
You know, and even
a couple of thousand to do a few fillers and then Botox. But no one says that.
Yes.
But then when
they're training for the same amount of time as we are.
Exactly. And then $700 for a color transformation. Oh my God, it's so expensive. And this is when I thought we need to put our prices up there and to show our industry that we are, you know, should be charging our worth. And we, you know, what's going to be happening if we are too scared to really be open about our prices. And this is a big problem in our industry.
Well, I'll tell you what'll happen is that hairdressing is going to get a hell of a lot more expensive because most salon owners will have to close down. The other hairdressers won't be able to stay in business. And the ones that are left, we'll be able to charge whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So and the thing is too, if we're not employing as many apprentices and there's not as many seniors, well, you know, it's going to get more and more expensive if we don't make those changes.
Yeah.
And even as consumers, I think consumers need to be educated on that as well. Even though you go, this is great for salon owners, I think consumers do need to have it pushed in their face more.
Yeah.
That this is not appropriate to pay $150 for a full head of foils. Yeah. That mom that you are getting her to do your hair in her kitchen or whatever is really not making $150. She's probably making $10 off of you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that doesn't buy a lot at Woolworths these days. So
I know and that's why, you know, hopefully other, you know, salon owners would start like putting their prices up there. You know, you don't have to say that verbally like I do, but even say this service costs this client X amount of dollars, because I think we do need more transparency in our industry. And, you know, and I love that, you know, and I have a lot of people that love that when I talk about prices, but you know, but then like you said, you've got those small amount of people that are seeing the video that just think that, oh my God, that's just absolutely ridiculous. You know, you're price gouging. How in the hell am I price gouging? Have I got you a gun to your head and saying you better come into the salon, otherwise, you know, I'm going to slit your wrists? Yeah. I mean, seriously. So, you know, people just talk shit especially on TikTok. Yes. It's on a different level.
Yes.
But I think it's really important to, you know, like it's nice to have that open conversation with that client. And most of our clients are really happy to discuss price on our videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, especially if they've seen your videos, and they're probably disappointed if they're not on your videos, right? At this stage.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
How come you're not yet? Sell me something, you know?
I have people that they're not even my clients. They ask some of my team members, oh, can you tell Charlene if she can video me because I want to go on her TikTok? I was like, yeah, okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
Has that do you find that your clientele is really used to being on camera and they're all okay with it? Or how do you go about that before
Yeah,
you
look, we
film?
do definitely ask if they're okay. Obviously, a lot of people think that we just roll the camera and don't even discuss price or anything. Obviously, we do a consultation, ask them if they're happy to be recorded for a TikTok or for our
Yep.
socials. And when a client says, yes, I'm totally happy, we get them to sign a waiver and saying, okay, this is a waiver just saying that we can use your video. They sign the waiver, and then I will definitely always ask them now, can I mention the price? Not on all, but, if it's a big sort of bill and a big transformation, I think it's really nice. And some of them just go, oh, look, I'm happy for you to record, but maybe don't talk about the price. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
They
fine.
A lot of
Maybe
them probably
their
don't want their husbands. That's exactly what I'm thinking, The ones
Maybe
that
their
have two
husband.
cards to
I'll
pay.
put it on the Amex.
Yeah. That many people already have two cards to pay, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, I think we always focus on more of the negatives, and there's only 10, with my following, there's only like your 10% of people 15% of the people that are negative about it, and all the others are positive. But it's a shame that the 15 or 20% of the haters and the trolls, they've got the louder voices.
Yes. Yeah. That's always going to be
Yeah.
the way, though. And people see through that.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows what a troll is.
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
So you
Yeah.
can it's like going on reviews and seeing a bad review, even though, a bad Google review stings
Yeah.
because it's stuck there and, brings down your ratings or whatever. Most people can tell that the person is.
Well, I think I sometimes I've had it before that people just hate that I am so transparent about the prices that they haven't even come into the salon, and they would just make a review and saying, oh, I got ripped off, you're a rip-off lady, you're just price gouging. That they haven't even come into the salon.
Yeah.
It's just that they're so angry
Yes.
about the prices. It's like, it's not even your money. Why are you so angry?
Yeah. It's really strange, isn't it?
Weird.
Yeah.
It's like they've just they can't handle it. And is it because they can't handle it because they've got no money and they can't afford it, or they just think that is just absolutely ridiculous? I get a friend doing it for $5. Like, okay, that's okay. Everyone has different situations. But
I think maybe some of those people are just not used to all the changes in the world and how transparent we are being and how much we video and talk about stuff.
Yeah.
It's like just the money mindset in general. Like there's full-blown courses and coaches to try to get your head around their mindset around money. And because they have that issue with it, they just have such a hard time seeing somebody that can just talk about
Yep.
look,
I'm telling you, you talk about pricing or money, your video will go viral.
Yes.
Because people just love to engage in that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you need the trolls and the haters to push those videos out. But yeah, I think it's a really raw subject that a lot of people don't talk about, and people are interesting, and a lot of people just go. A lot of stylists and they're all like, I don't think it's expensive. Like, this is really good value. I mean, like you said. The normal people gets it, but it's just that 10 or 15% that they're never going to come and spend even $150 on a haircut.
Yeah.
They think that that's expensive.
And I do think that, do you think possibly it's the fact that you're driving around in a very expensive vehicle?
Yeah.
And, like
because I show my lifestyle a lot.
On top of that. Yeah. And so I think people don't understand how much hard work that was.
Yeah.
Like you've had a salon for how many years now?
Yeah, well, I think I bought my first salon in 1991.
Wow. Yeah, I was
some
6.
People were.
I was 6.
I was going to say some people weren't even born then. So 1991, I bought my first salon, and I was 24. So I told. I think we went through a little bit of that story in my
the first episode. You told the story. Charlene has an amazing story about
the podcast. Like it was hard. I had no money, and how you suffer. But people just see what you got now, and people think, well, this is why you're charging this much. People don't understand of the years and years and years of hard work and determination and the sweat, blood and tears to get to that stage.
I mean, you have to have like 50 team members to make what you have.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it doesn't just happen with a couple team members.
I know.
Like, it's not just you at the even if it was.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be up shit creek if it was if you were the only person doing those numbers. Like, you need a whole 50 people to be doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have the 2 salons, and I wanted to talk about the story about, so you had Jess working for you, who maybe wanted to do her own thing.
No, she never did.
Oh, okay.
She didn't even have the conversation. She just worked for me. I was the one that opened the conversation up.
Right. Okay.
She didn't even.
Okay.
It didn't even go into her head. She was only 24 when she was working for me. Well, prior to that, I think she worked for me when she was 19 or 20, and then I had a conversation. I opened the conversation up and said, "Do you want to be a partner in the second location?"
Yep.
And be a partner, because I knew I always only wanted to one busy salon, like I said, one busy salon. And then in 1997, we were at its full capacity, 30 chairs, full capacity, 28 staff. And that's when I thought, maybe, yes, I'm ready to open up a second salon. But I knew that I didn't want to do it by myself.
1997?
In 1997. My God, I'm thinking of all these dates. 2017.
17. Okay, yeah.
2017.
Yeah.
That's when I decided, yes, I'm going to have another salon. That's when we opened up Circles.
So you were going to do it anyways?
No,
Even on your
I
own?
wanted a partner.
Okay.
I knew from the beginning I didn't want to do it by myself.
Yep. Okay.
No, because I think it's very difficult to have 2 salons, and
For sure.
no, it was just
I
too
see a
hard.
lot of people when they do that, I feel like they're always making a big mistake when they go and split themselves like that.
Yeah,
And
because it
very
takes away
often-
from the
yes,
salons. And
yeah.
now, I'm in the Subiaco salon. Jess is in the Fitzgerald salon. We talk, 3-4 times a day. We're doing the roadshow with L'Oreal Pro Connect at the moment. We contact each other always, and I pop in there, she pops in there. It works beautiful.
Nice.
I did have a lot of people say to me, I think you're making a big mistake, don't get a partner, partners always turn into shit, something will always go wrong. But I just knew with Jess she was definitely the right person. She reminded me all her values and her goals. And maybe her goals wasn't to open up a salon, but I knew by opening up that conversation, I knew that eventually she would.
Yeah. That's brilliant. And would you do that again with another team member?
I probably, if I was younger, but no, because, we've just spent just last year, we just renovated the Fitzgerald salon and invested $756,000 in the second location, and that was just to extend the 12 chairs. So it's
because you own both the locations.
Yes, I own
properties,
both
don't
of
you?
the premises. Yeah. So no, it was. I just think it's too. I need to step back. I feel like I'm getting busier than
before.
slowing down. Obviously with my social media going crazy, and the shadowing program, and everyone that wants us to present on business now, it's definitely taken it to the next level. So we did. Declan and I did that beautiful conference this year with Smith Collectives in Bali with Sophia Hilton, and that just went crazy. And now, obviously, they've asked us back for next year, and we're doing a conference in Bali again, but I'm doing it with Jess this time. So I think us as an industry, we really need more business conferences.
Yes.
Because it's, we can do beautiful balayages, we can do beautiful transformations, we can do beautiful haircuts, but how do we survive in business? And I think the more business education that is in our industry, the better and stronger we can become as our hair industry.
100%. And it's something that we're always looking for as salon owners to go to.
Yeah.
We'll always put our hand up to go to more business education.
Yeah. But there's not a lot out
There
there.
really isn't. And I mean, I feel like we miss it a lot of the time too in the advertising. Like I just saw the thing come through that Sharon Blaine is putting on next week.
Yes, the movement.
I only saw that today or yesterday. And I thought I would have loved to go to that.
Yeah.
But I already have plans next week and it's a week away. But it's, when we are doing something, I feel like the one that you did with Sophia Hilton.
Yeah.
Missed as well.
Yeah.
To the last minute.
Yeah.
And it's like you really have to
pre-plan. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard because when you're on social media too, like you're scrolling only so much. You don't see the things you want to see. You just see a bunch of junk a lot of the time, right? So you miss out on things unless the company that you are
you're under
is telling you about everything that's on.
Yeah.
So I do find that's hard.
I think, doing our roadshow, we kicked it off on Monday in Perth, our hometown, and this weekend we go to New Zealand, Auckland and Christchurch and present there, and then we go to Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne and Adelaide. And I had so many salons reach out and say, I'm not a L'Oreal Pro Connect, but I want to come. But I'm under L'Oreal.
Yes.
And, they want to just keep it for their clients.
Yeah.
So I can tell there is a huge demand of business education because I get stacks and stacks of messages, not weekly, daily, saying, Charlene, when are you going to come here? Are you going to do your own? What are you going to do?
Just do
so
your
there
own.
is just like there is definitely a market there. Yeah. But how am I going to navigate that with running a salon, doing the shadowing now, committing to some conferences next year? I just want to get through this roadshow, to tell you the truth.
Yes. Are you doing it all back to back? So
every weekend. So I'm going to be completely buggered.
So you're flying back and forth every weekend?
Yes, back and forth. So then I'll be back in Perth for 3 days and then fly out and then come back to Perth for 3 days because as we know, as our industry, our education should only be on a Monday or Tuesday. The salon owners and managers really need to be in their salons making money on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. And then we leave on a Sunday out of here, educate the Monday and Tuesday and then fly back on the Tuesday night.
And what are you educating on? Like what is what does that look like? Is it a full day that you guys are doing?
No, it's 3.5 hours and we just talk about your brand, building a stronger brand, recruitment, because it's so hard now. People are finding it really hard to find the right staff and the right team member, not only apprentices but senior stylists. So we talk about team members, how do you build that brand? We talk about compensation and rewards on what we do as a salon to keep everyone motivated and to stay with the brand as well, which is really important. And we do a little bit of automation and integration into our presentation, which people love as well, all that back end that salon owners actually hate doing. But us as older salon owners, we need it because we need to have that time back so we can concentrate on the floor, on our team, giving them that one-on-one service. I'm talking about our stylists, so then they can hit their goals. But usually the salon owners are behind the computer trying to do this, answer emails, messages, all this. But if we can get that beautiful, seamless automation and integration back into our business, then it gives us that time.
And I know that you have just come out with your own software and you've launched that.
Right, are we going to talk about that? That was not, oh God, where do I start?
Talk about that.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by the BizTool Boutique because running a salon is hard enough. Your salon should give you freedom, profit, and a team that make you proud to be a salon owner. That's exactly why I created the BizTool Boutique. Simple, done-for-you systems you can download and implement straight away. Not another long-winded course that you'll never finish. Just the exact tools I use today in my own highly profitable salon. From pricing and profit share frameworks that lock in growth to team management tools that give you back your time and retail mindsets that finally stick, every program is designed to fit into your busy life and actually work. Because let's be real, salon owners don't need more on their to-do list. What you need are fast, proven systems that free you up, better cash flow, and more consistency. So you and your team can finally enjoy the business that you've all worked so hard for. Head to the link in the show notes to check out the tools that we've built just for salon owners.